Those of you that have watched my recent finance videos will know that I have a portion of my stock portfolio in FreeTrade. And one of my viewers requested a tutorial on how the app works and how to get started on it. Great suggestion, and so here we are. In this video, I'll explain why I use FreeTrade in comparison to other websites and apps, how FreeTrade works, including buying and selling stocks because it has recently changed with their new update. And finally, what metrics I look at on FreeTrade when deciding whether to purchase a stock. Firstly, why FreeTrade? Well, the clue is kind of in the name, free trade. Although it is not quite free, the platform fees are extremely low, especially when you compare it to its competitors. Comparing FreeTrade to Hargreaves Lansdown, Interactive Investor, and AJ Bell, you can see that FreeTrade is the only site to not charge a fee on trades. As a student, this is absolutely perfect for me because I opt to DCA into the market bi-weekly. DCA just means the dollar cost average. It means you buy into the market no matter if the price goes up or down. I spoke more about DCAing in this video right here, so feel free to check that out after you finish this one if it may be of interest to you. Due to Hargreaves Lansdown £11 fee per trade, if I, for example, invest £100 bi-weekly, over 10% of that £100 will be used to cover fees alone. I find the sites such as Hargreaves Lansdown and AJ Bell are targeting older, more established investors who can afford to invest thousands at a time, so their trade fee is like a drop in the ocean for them. But for investors such as myself, who much prefer to invest little but often, FreeTrade is a much more economical option. That being said, however, FreeTrade, much like its competitors, does have a foreign exchange fee for trades purchased and sold not in the UK market. This is 0.45% plus the spot rate, which means the current exchange rate. A decent percentage of my stock portfolio is in blue chip US stocks, so I do have to pay the exchange fee for a lot of my transactions, but it's such a small amount that I'm not too dissatisfied by it. Final reason FreeTrade is a great option for beginners is due to the app. It is super intuitive and easy to navigate, perfect for beginner investors. But more will be discussed on how to use FreeTrade in the tutorial section of this video, which is coming up shortly. Okay, so moving on to the next stage of the video, let's start talking about the pricing models for FreeTrade because it has very recently changed. There are now 3 pricing models: Basic, Standard, and Plus. Basic charges no fee and simply gives you a general investment account to invest into and over 1,500 stocks available. Standard costs £4.99 a month and notably gives you the option for a stocks and shares ISA, which for those you don't know allows you to invest up to £20,000 each tax year, and all returns are completely tax-free. Standard also includes over 6,000 stocks and automated order types, which will be discussed slightly later. Also, for 100% transparency, I personally have the standard membership on FreeTrade. However, there is one level higher, which is Plus, and that sets you back £9.99 a month. As well as having all the features in the standard model, Plus also gives you access to a self-invested pension scheme, which is a SIPP, as well as up to 3% interest on £4,000 of uninvested cash, as well as priority customer service and access to the web version of FreeTrade, which is currently in beta. As mentioned earlier, I personally have the standard membership purely so I have access to the stocks and shares ISA, and I just felt paying an extra £5 a month for the features in Plus was not worth it. Okay, so now we've discussed the pricing models, let's get into how to use the FreeTrade app. Okay, so when you first open the app, you should be left on a home page which has your portfolio. Clicking the bronze button in the top left, you can change between your general investment account, which is free with FreeTrade, and your stocks and shares ISA and your SIPP should you have the membership for them. I purely invest in my stocks and shares ISA, so my general investment account has nothing in it, but I will be using that to navigate this tutorial for 2 reasons. Firstly, because it has no investments, I can show a lot of the features from scratch. And secondly, everyone has access to the general investment account no matter their subscription tier, so I think it's only right I use that one. Not to worry though, the stocks and shares ISA which I use is pretty much identical, apart from the fact that you can only invest up to £20,000 a tax year in the stocks and shares ISA, and a very few amount of shares actually exempt from being bought into ISAs, so watch out for those. The free shares button is where you have your referral code, which when redeemed gives you and the redeemer a free share worth between £3 and £200. If you haven't created an account with FreeTrade yet and want to, feel free to DM me after this video on Instagram and I can give you my free referral code. Also to note, all free shares redeemed from that referral code goes to your general investment account. So those of you with a keen eye that noticed my general investment account was up £13.06, it was because my free referred shares were sent to my general investment account. I then sold them instantly and withdrew the cash, So £13 for absolutely nothing, I think that's pretty good. Switching back to my stocks and shares ISA, the homepage will also show your current investments listed with the highest holdings first. Below that is your limit orders, which we will touch on in a very little bit, so stay tuned for that. And at the bottom is your watch list, which is a really cool feature. It allows you to add shares that you're not currently invested but want to keep tabs on. And if you do happen to invest in any shares that were on your watch list, it automatically gets removed from there and added to your investments. The second page along is your insights. This is currently blank for me since I have 0 investments in my general investment account. But showing my stocks and shares ISA, it has a performance index tracker to see how much your investments have grown over particular time periods. It also has a pie chart right underneath to see what types, sectors, and positions you are currently invested in. The next page along is your discovery page, which is where all the searching happens. Use the top tab to search any particular shares or ETFs you want to look at, or you can scroll down the discovery page to see categories such as IPOs. IPO stands for initial public offering. It means companies that recently went public. These tend to be very volatile at the start, so unless you are an extremely experienced trader or you really trust the company, I would steer clear of these. There are also categories for popular tech stocks, passive ETFs, and even sports stocks, so feel free to check them out on the Discover page. I generally browse it a few times a month to see if there's any stocks trending or that have been recently added to FreeTrade that I may find of interest. The fourth page is the activity page, and it shows all your transactions. I'm talking recent trades, dividend income, deposits, withdrawals, basically anything where money is involved. Finally, the account page is where you can top up and withdraw cash by adding a linked bank account. If you are using the stocks and shares ISA, it also shows you how much of the £20,000 yearly limit you have left to invest. With the general investment account, it has no need, so it doesn't show that. Okay, so now the menu navigation is done. Let's talk about the process of buying your first few shares. It is at this point where I must declare I am not a qualified financial advisor, so any decisions you make off the back of this video, I am not liable for. Choosing to buy a stock should not be an impulse decision. You should take a lot of time to look at a range of their factors, including the sustainability. You don't want the company to go bankrupt anytime soon. Other indicators such as the current market trend and also the stock's PE or price to earnings ratio can tell you whether the stock is at an affordable price. Lower PE ratios tend to mean the stock is at a fairer price. Tech stocks are notoriously overvalued, with Tesla having a P ratio of over 100. If you invest large amounts of cash, you may also want to pay attention to the dividend yield. This is where companies pay out their loyal investors with a proportion of their holdings, usually quarterly, but some can be annually. Not all companies pay out dividends, but some do, with Fungella Resources giving out a whopping 20% in 2022. If you see a stock you like the look of, you can either add it to your watch list or buy it outright using the buy button. FreeTrade does not currently give you the option to short stocks, which basically means you are betting against the company, meaning you make money if the price of the stock goes down. Because FreeTrade does not offer this, buying automatically means you are long in the stock, basically meaning you have an investment in it, meaning you make money if the price of the stock goes up. Without a doubt, one of the best features of FreeTrade is that the app allows you to buy fractional US shares, which means you don't have to purchase the full share amount every time you invest. This is absolutely perfect for investors like me who may not always have the money available to buy a stock like Tesla or Microsoft outright. Fortunately though, fractional shares are only available in the US market, so if you do wish to buy UK or European stocks or anywhere else, you will have to pay the full amount for the share. Remember how I mentioned limit orders earlier in the video? Well, if you like the stock but don't love the price it's at right now, you can reserve some cash and have FreeTrade automatically buy the share at the price you like. This is called limit orders for whole shares and triggered orders for fractional shares, and it is only available to standard and plus FreeTrade members. And when choosing to close a trade and sell a stock, you click the sell button and you can choose either to sell your whole position or a portion of your position. UK market is open 8 AM to 4:30 PM, Monday to Friday, excluding bank holidays. Whilst the US market is open 2:30 PM to 9 PM, also Monday to Friday, excluding US public holidays. And both the times I gave are for the UK time zone. So now you have seen my FreeTrade tutorial, I guess the next question is, what should you invest in? For that question, I recommend this video right here, where I discuss the top 5 passive ETF investments to generate you passive income for a lifetime. You do not want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know you did so in the comment section, as well as any feedback or questions you may have. I've been Dennis and I hope to see you all in my next video.